Liverpool and Arsenal. Odds on this one, Liverpool 173, the draw plus 263. Arsenal, league leaders right now, plus 147. This team just keeps on finding a way to win. Nick, I'm going to go to you first on this one. The Gunners, all year, Kevin and I have joked around about the Jenga Gunners, and you just keep waiting for them to fall apart, and it just hasn't happened. It's kind of like the story of Leicester City years ago. People kept waiting for them to fall apart, and they ended up winning the Premiership or the Premier League. Give me your thoughts.
Yeah, you're 100% right. It's funny when you look at or when you think about the schedule makers putting out this fixture schedule, way back when. They're like, all right, match day 30, we got Arsenal, we got Liverpool. One of these teams is probably going to be battling for the top. One's, probably outside looking in on a European spot. I guarantee you they were not thinking the teams would be swapped and it would be Liverpool on the outside looking in and Arsenal sitting there at the top. At the same point, they probably weren't thinking Arsenal would be the only one left in the European competition either. But here we are. It's remarkable to me how much of a drop in quality we've seen from Liverpool this season. Most of it on the defensive side of the ball. Offensively, they still had a decent year. They've been putting up solid XG numbers. They rank in the top 4 or 5 in pretty much all statistical categories offensively. But ranking 16th in expected goals allowed is obviously not a long-term recipe for success in the Premier League. Last season, Liverpool allowed 0.86 expected goals per game. This season, only Fulham and then 3 relegation candidates, Everton, Nottingham, and Bournemouth, have allowed more. So that is not a group of teams you want to be accompanied with when you're talking defensive performance. On the flip side, many expected Arsenal to perform better this year, which obviously they have. They ended the year very strong last year. They made some offseason splashes. Clearly they've improved, generating the second most expected goals behind only City this year. But their defense has gotten much better too, allowing 1.27 last year, now down to just 1.01 this year. On the road has been the most impressive for the Gunners. They're the only team in the Premier League allowing less than 1 expected goals per 90 minutes, so they obviously lead the league in expected goals allowed away from home. For Liverpool, there's an outside chance, I guess, that they could still push for a top 4 spot. They're 10 points back with 10 matches to go of United. It obviously seems very unlikely, but watching their performance against Chelsea, even though they somehow managed that 0-0 draw, is just a stark reminder of how far behind in quality they are. And if the Real Madrid result in the Champions League didn't already remind you of that, I just simply don't want to put any money on a team that's just 10-18 this year against the spread. While you look at Arsenal, and obviously they started the season where they started the season, and maybe not everybody was high on them, but as the season's gone on, the longer they sit at the top, the more the spreads are getting bigger and bigger and bigger for them. They're still 19-9 with 1 push against the spread this year, and the overs are 18-11 to the over. So Arsenal won the reverse fixture 3-2 back in October. They generated more than 2 expected goals, and the Liverpool did. It was 2.82 to 0.77, or roughly thereabout, depending where you look. But over 2 expected goals more than Liverpool did. I see really no reason to think this match is going to play out much differently as far as a result goes. I don't expect it to be nearly as lopsided as that first match, but the Gunners keep gunning. Liverpool keeps looking crappy. I don't know. I'm going to keep riding the wave while it's there. Arsenal have won 11-14 away from home. What's not to say they can't do it again? Arsenal plus 135, plus 130, plus 140, 147 we're seeing on the screen. I mean, I love that price is very attractive to me. You can play this safer, of course. Just take the Asian handicap minus a quarter of a goal. If they end up drawing, you're only losing half your wager, but I like Arsenal here.
All right, Nick Borrman of Sports Memo. Nick, listen, I have to agree with you, and I'll get Brian's thoughts in a minute. I thought a couple months ago Liverpool were starting to turn the corner, and they played 2 or 3 flat games in a row again, and they're just a team that is going to be a mid-level or a mid-table team. They're on 43 points. They've dropped 8 of a possible 9 points in their last 3 games, and they just don't look like they're a team that is going to string a bunch of wins together to make a run at the top 4. I think the top 4, yep, they're 10 points out, and the teams in front of them aren't going to drop a lot of those points. And I always love to throw out an exact score prop on a few games, And this is one where might surprise you, but it is going to be Arsenal in this one. Arsenal 3-1 is plus 1,800. I'm going to throw up a 1% play for clients on Arsenal 3-1 plus 1,800 and see if we can get a little bit of pizza money for next week going. Brian, give me your thoughts on this one. Anfield, always a tough place to play, and they've held over Arsenal for the longest time. But maybe that last win 3-2 was a signal of things to come for this Gunners side against the Reds. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I'll keep this one short and sweet, guys. On the surface, Liverpool, we all agree they appear to be in trouble here. Not only were they lucky to escape with that goal of straw against Chelsea, but Arsenal, guys, I mean, not only have they won 7 in a row, they've put up at least 3 goals in 6 of those victories. Incredibly impressive what this team continues to do in the league. And not only should Liverpool have conceded multiple goals to Chelsea midweek, Nick hit on this a little bit. The number of actual goals they've conceded should be way higher this season. They've conceded only 33 on 45.7 XG. Nick mentioned there's only a couple sides lower than them on XG in the league. Only Fulham has been luckier when you look at actual versus expected goals allowed. So I think there is defensive regression coming for Liverpool. I know they've only conceded 9 times here at Anfield all season, which is tied for the second best defensive home record. But I don't think that's going to hold up here. Since the 7-0 win over Man U, which caught everybody by surprise, Liverpool's lost 1-0 to Bournemouth, 4-1 to Man City, and then, of course, the draw to Chelsea that we've hit on multiple times. Arsenal, I agree, very tempting at this price, plus 135, plus 140. One thing that did catch my eye, though, 42 of Arsenal's 70 goals this season have come on home soil. Their matches at home tend to be a lot higher scoring than on the road. I don't think we're getting another 3-goal effort here from the league leaders. But, I was thinking back to our last show, a bet our friend Pavlos gave out, and I'm going to go with it in this match. 2 or 3 goals. I know you talked about the pizza money, Carmine. That's a very intriguing option at that price, but I think plus 110, this is available at DraftKings, for there to be 2 or 3 goals scored in this match is a very safe bet and something I would recommend going with. Doesn't matter who wins, obviously, as the saying goes, but I think 2 or 3 exact is the way to go here.
That is the Pavlos adage that he loves to throw out. I don't care who wins, just land on 2 or 3.